Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. If you remember, about a week or two ago I reviewed a Damtoys bust, and it was their Tyrannosaurus Rex. Well, as you can see by the image right in front of you, today we are going to be taking a look at another Damtoys bust, and this time it is the Dilophosaurus. There are four different versions of the Dilophosaurus bust. As you can see right here in the front, it is displaying the frilled version and then the non-frilled version. I purchased the frilled version just because it's more Jurassic Park-ish. I mean, they really both are, but to get the full Jurassic Park experience, I went with the actual frilled version just because I am a huge Jurassic Park fanboy, but that's just the way it is. The box art itself here on the front looks really nice. Overall, beautiful looking. I love the actual image here of the Dilophosaurus. And then down here, of course, it says Dilophosaurus Paleontology World Collectible Museum Series. Now, as I said, there are actually four different versions, and as you can see by this image, this is showing a few of the different versions. You've got the non-frilled and frilled versions of this paint scheme, which is actually kind of the harder paint scheme to come by. It seems as though the one that I got is a little bit more common, as I can't really locate either this one or this one in too many places online to purchase. It was not available on Sideshow's website or on Big Bad Toy Store where I normally order this kind of stuff. But luckily, this one here on this side was, which actually this is another shot of the one from the other side. This is the non-frilled version, and this is the frilled version of the ones that are available online on Big Bad Toy Store and Sideshow. This here is the one that I got, actually. And then, of course, we've got an image here on the back showing all four different versions all together, looking very cool. I would have liked to have actually owned all of them, but unfortunately, that's not in the cards, and that would have cost a ton of money for me to purchase every single one. But regardless, very nice looking box. Let's bring in the actual statue. And here is the actual statue itself, the dinosaur bust itself. And as you can see, when you take a first glance at it, it is overall really beautiful looking. It honestly is. The paint scheme itself that they've come up with here, well, I don't know if I'd say came up with, but it's definitely very Jurassic Park-like. But it's not exactly to what you do see in the movie. There are definitely some differences between this one's paint scheme and the one in the film. Like on the face here, on the film version, you would actually see like some black that kind of covers an area of the face here. And it goes up actually onto the crest and everything. It does not do that here on the Damtoys version. However, I think that the actual frill is really beautiful looking and very striking, and honestly colored pretty much exactly what I see on the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park. So the frill itself is really beautifully done, and overall looks, in my opinion, very close. Not exactly, but very close to what you do see in Jurassic Park. And the overall color scheme, as far as the colors used, like the greens and stuff, is very similar to Jurassic Park. And again, the actual throat here is really also very similar. It's actually got this whole green deal going on here, very similar to what you do see in the movie, but it doesn't have the red on the under part of the throat. So that is, again, another little difference between this and the actual real Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus. But regardless, let's go ahead and get a nice closer look so we can look at the actual sculpt in detail. So, looking up here at the snout area, you can see that the scales and everything are really beautifully sculpted. Even the nostril looks absolutely fantastic. It looks much darker inside the nostril on this one compared to the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which I had mentioned that I thought would have benefited a little bit from some darker coloration inside the nostril. This one, the nostrils are a good bit smaller, so it kind of just gives it that dark look regardless. I don't think they've actually added anything in there, but because it's a lot smaller, it looks a lot darker. As you look at the actual sculpt work, while we run along the side of the face, it looks beautiful. There is so much work that has gone into the sculpt of the actual Dilophosaurus's head. So many different size scales. Look at the detail as we lead up to the eye. The scales just kind of get smaller and smaller, and then the actual area around the eye is so beautifully sculpted and so very realistically sculpted. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Even the detail up here on the crest itself looks really nice. All sorts of very small cracks and creases and all sorts of very small details, even some little osteoderms throughout the crest itself, making the crest also look very real. The paint applied all looks fantastic. There are so many different variations of color all throughout the head. It's just absolutely mind-boggling how much paint has been put into the head sculpt of this dinosaur bust, making it look like it has so many different skin tones and looking very, very real. So I absolutely love the paint that is applied. Even up above here, above the eye, you can kind of see some very nice detail right there. Right here behind the eye as well. Beautiful sculpting of the very small details that should be included, and the beautiful scale work all over the head looks fantastic. The eye itself looks beautiful. It truly has a fantastic gloss, which makes it look very wet, very genuine, very real. It kind of looks like it's just staring at me. The closer you get, the better idea you have of how nicely painted that eye truly is. Coming down to the lower jaw, once again you can see all the beautiful sculpt work that has been put into this, all the very small, minute details and the beautiful scale work and everything. And taking note once again on how beautifully applied the paint is, it is all very nicely airbrushed on and looks very natural. So that is definitely a huge plus for the paint application of this statue, is that it does look very, very real. I love the skin flap here on the side of the mouth. You can see some very nice creases throughout, making it look very nice as far as the sculpting goes, and the pinkish coloration is again something that looks very real to me. I think they've done a great job overall on that area, and the tongue itself has a very nice genuine wet look, as you would expect, and you can actually see that it is purple like you do see on the Jurassic Park version, but it also has kind of some hints of black and stuff throughout, so even giving the tongue itself color variation is just super, super cool. The tongue is kind of up in a position like it's giving you a nice little roar, kind of trying to show you that it does mean business and that it does not want to be bothered with, so they've done a great job with that. And the teeth themselves look genuine beyond belief. They have a nice gloss, so they shine very beautifully, but they overall look really, really real. They are painted with an absolutely perfect coloration, which makes them just look absolutely genuine. Every side you look at them, they honestly look like real, living dinosaur teeth. So they have done a great job everywhere as far as the entire mouth area goes. I really, really like it. And then as you move out here into the frill, look how insane the sculpt work of the actual frill is. It is absolutely beautiful, and similar to what you do see on the Jurassic Park version, it has that very same similar sculpting, which actually kind of almost makes it appear to look like feathers, even though it is not. I think it looks really nice the way they've done that, and again, the paint applied is just beautiful. It is also wonderfully airbrushed on and just looks so real and so legit, and honestly just like I remember in the actual movie. And it changes colors a few different times. It's got some reds, some yellows, a little hints of orange, and then turns to like a green and then a black, and they're all just meshed together so well, and overall just makes the entire thing have such a very striking and beautiful appearance. If we take a look at the back of the frill, you can see all sorts of beautiful detail. It's not quite as detailed as you do see in the front, but there is some very nice detail on the actual back, and there is some paint included as well, kind of giving you the feel that it's almost like a transparent look through the actual frill, but not quite as transparent as it could be, but again giving it a very, very cool and very real look. And if we actually take a look at the neck, you can see all sorts of creases in the skin as we run down the neck and the entire length of the neck till we get to this actual base back here. And overall, I think the neck is sculpted out really beautifully, and the paint applied on the neck also looks really, really good. And the neck is actually sculpted exactly the same way on both sides, because it is in a completely neutral position, just staring forward, so it's honestly not going to look any different on either side, but I think they've done a great job overall on the neck as well. The only thing that I can say is even a remote downside to this is that if you look here right behind the head, you can see the seam where the frill and everything connects, but it's not really that distracting, and it's kind of actually hard to take note of. Once you get a nice wide shot, you don't notice it, but you can see it actually on both sides. It is just something to take note of, and observe, but it's nothing really to complain about. I don't mind it at all, and I think overall, the entire thing looks beautiful. And if you take a look at the base, you can see here, it does say Dilophosaurus Dinosaur Series, and then you've got a beautiful sculpt of a Dilophosaurus skull right here, and it's wonderfully colored. It honestly looks like it's been weathered really, really well, and in general looks very realistic. And the background on top of that is just kind of like this stone type of a background, with the Dilophosaurus skull just plastered right on there. It looks very, very nice. On the underside, of course, you get a little bit of information there, stating that it is Damtoys, Dilophosaurus, and all that fun stuff. And then you've got a little peg right here. And to put the Dilophosaurus back on, you've got a little hole right there. You just match that hole up, and you slide it down, and it slides on perfectly. However, if you do not want to put it on the base, it also has a little hook here on the back so that you can hang it on the wall if you would like, which I think is very cool and could give your dinosaur room a very cool appearance if you had a whole bunch of these Damtoys statues just kind of plastered all over the wall. And there are numerous that are still to come from Damtoys that could make quite the collection of different dinosaur heads sticking out of your wall. As far as the size goes, if we look at a height, well, it's of course on the base to the top of the actual crest. You're looking at about 9 inches or 23 centimeters, and to the actual top of the frill, about 10.5 inches or about 27, just a little under 27 centimeters. And as far as a width of the actual frill itself, you're looking at about 7 inches or about 18 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is the Papo T-Rex, and you can see that he is immensely dwarfed by the Dilophosaurus. I mean, it's not huge as far as size goes compared to the Papo Rex, but again, the Papo Rex is a pretty big figure, so the Dilophosaurus here shows you how nicely sized, I would say, this bust is. It's not gigantic, but it's not small. Definitely a very good size as far as a bust goes. And for a second size comparison, there is the Dilophosaurus next to the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Damtoys. You can see that the Dilophosaurus is much smaller than the Rex as far as the actual body size, but the overall size of the bust, if you include the base, is about the size of the Rex without its base. So very, very nicely sized busts, both the Rex and the Dilophosaurus. So these Damtoys dinosaur busts are actually quite awesome. I was a little concerned going into them with how nice they would end up looking, as I don't think Damtoys previously made any type of dinosaur figures, so I was a little unsure as to how realistic they would look, and figured that maybe it would take some time probably before they would really start to hit their peak and figure it all out and start making stuff as nice as Dinosauria Sideshow made, just for an example. But I was actually kind of wrong. I mean, I think the Rex, the Green Rex, had a few issues, but those issues were completely corrected here with the Dilophosaurus, and the Dilophosaurus itself has really only just the seam issue, but I mean, this stuff's got to connect somewhere, so you have to kind of expect to have a seam. It would be really hard to completely hide it, although it is definitely possible. But again, it's something that will hopefully be corrected again in the future. But it seems as though as they go, they are definitely getting better and better as far as these busts go, because I would say that this Dilophosaurus bust is better than the Rex bust, and I thought the Rex bust was really, really nice. So this Dilophosaurus bust is quite beautiful. The overall paint application all looks fantastic. It looks very natural, very real. It definitely looks like body color as opposed to paint. Everything on this just meshes so well, and it all is really put on in such a realistic fashion as far as the different tones of coloration and everything, making this look like a very real, genuine, living dinosaur head. So they have done a great job there. Overall, everything about this is beautiful. The base is also really, really beautifully done. The entire thing is kind of heavy. I mean, not super heavy, but it's definitely solid, so it will stand beautifully for you. I love the fact that they also give you the addition of potentially hanging this on your wall, if that is the route you would like to take. or having it on the base with the nameplate displayed. Either way, super cool. Love these Damtoys dinosaur busts, and I am greatly looking forward to any of these other Damtoy statues in the very near future that I do get my hands on. So if you do want to order this Damtoys Dilophosaurus bust, I will throw a link in the description to Sideshow and BigBadToyStore.com, where I believe it is still for order up on both of those sites. I don't know for how long, as I do believe these are limited with no actual limited edition number. They are just pretty much, I think Damtoys just makes a certain amount, and then once they sell out, they're gone. So if I were you and you are interested, I would get on ordering one very soon, because I don't know how long this will be around. I believe this one is like around $109 plus shipping. If you order it on BigBadToyStore.com, it would actually be like $4 shipping, and I think tax, of course, would have to be added on. But I think that's how much this one was like $109. So a very good price for such a beautiful looking piece. So check the description, go order yourself an awesome Damtoys dinosaur bust, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.